Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the atmospheric world around us, and we will discuss one example that recently happened in media from Poland but can be applicable to any other medium all around the world. The main motto of one of the internet radio in Poland is that in free translation from Polish into English, freedom of listening demands or requires support. Yeah, I agree. But do we have in this medium really freedom of listening? I wouldn't say so. A few days ago, one of the quite controversial Polish politicians was saying his opinions about some events in Second World War, and he was also referring to some genocides that happened those days. We can say that his views were maximum controversial, and he didn't say anything new because in so-called more or less revisionist and also scientific literature such arguments appear, and only in 12 or 13 countries, it changes all the time, such statements can be, the author of such statements can be but doesn't have to be punished. And one of the journalists that was having conversation with these Polish politicians about these controversial topics stopped the broadcast immediately. And today I was listening to this radio again, and one of the journalists I really respect, the correspondent of this radio in Paris, Mr. Witt, was saying, "Oh yeah, it was dangerous, the discussion, radio could be closed, and I prefer to have this radio than to have this closed. That's why this journalist did very well that he stopped the broadcast." And nowhere around the world can some statement be questioned, only in United States. Which is not true, what I mentioned in the beginning of this video, but I do not want to go to the details about this discussion between this Polish politician and the previous journalist that happened a few days ago, but I want to go to something more important. If we are afraid to say something, for what reason ever, or if we do not want to say something, do we really have freedom of speech? Are we really free if we are afraid? Not really. And here I would like to say something, that the best control is self-control. But self-control can be good for us, but self-control at the same time can be bad for us. If we are inoculated with some patterns of behavior that are detrimental to us and do not serve our interest, but serve to the interest of someone else who inoculated us with this way of thinking, then we should really get rid of this self-control. And there is no excuse of such behavior like stopping the broadcast because someone said or didn't say something controversial. And by the way, this talk by this controversial Polish politician was unfinished, so we actually didn't know what he was planning to say. That's why it's hard to judge it. This is what I can say as an observer from outside. That is why the main message of this video is we shouldn't have any self-control with respect to expressing our opinions, and we shouldn't be afraid of expressing them. If we really want to be independent, we shouldn't be so prone to any pressure from outside. Because if someone notices these weaknesses, of course it's a great temptation to use them for your own benefits. If your opponent is exposing such weakness, it's obvious that many people will try to use this weakness to their own benefits. And these nations, among which such behavior is quite common, will never be independent and will never rule themselves in the way that this way of ruling will serve their interest. That is why freedom of speech is very important, and freedom after speech as well, and open debate is crucial, even if we do not agree with views presented by someone. But if we don't agree, it's fine, but we should have a bunch of arguments to debate it and to prove if the person we like or not is right or wrong. But we shouldn't say that it happened well, that very good, that something happened, that the broadcast was interrupted because we would lose this radio. So I don't want such radio that that breaks broadcasts that are not in line with some agendas of some forces. It means there is no freedom of listening, and I'm not support that. Selective freedom. Either we have freedom or we don't have it. It's like with being pregnant. One cannot be pregnant a little. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.